As a QSA, one of the most common questions I hear is how to determine what systems are in scope for PCI. One of the easiest ways to start wrapping your head around this idea is to think of three concentric circles. Your first circle is going to be your CDE, or cardholder data environment, and it's going to contain all your systems that store, process, or transmit cardholder data, and it's also going to contain all the other systems that are directly connected to or live in the same networks as those systems that store, process, and transmit cardholder data. Your second circle is going to be your connected to systems. These are going to be systems that don't reside in the same network and don't have a direct full connection to systems that store, process, or transmit cardholder data, but they do provide some security services or other functionality and have some level of access to systems within the CDE, that innermost circle. And so lastly, you'll have your outermost circle, and this is going to be your not in scope systems. Systems that are not in scope will have no access into the CDE, back into that innermost circle. They will have no access in or out. They may have some access into the connected to systems. So for instance, in your connected to environment, you may have something like a logging server that centralizes your logs from everything. And it may be ingesting logs from your not in scope systems and from your CDE. And that doesn't put your not in scope systems into scope just because it's talking to that connected to system, but the connected to system is still providing services for in scope systems. And so you kind of have three layers of systems. You have your primary CDE systems that are definitely in scope for PCI, and you'll have to look at all of the PCI requirements and determine which ones are applicable. Then you'll have your second circle, and that's your connected to systems. Those are also going to be in scope for PCI, and you're going to have to look through all the requirements to determine which ones are applicable. And then you'll have your third ring of not in scope systems, and those are not going to be in scope, and you shouldn't have to consider them at all for PCI as long as they're, once again, guaranteed to be out of scope. If you have problems trying to figure this out, as scoping can be kind of a headache. Sometimes it's more of an art than a science. If you have any questions, you can always reach out to us here at Sikich, and we'll be more than happy to help you work through that.